Assassin's Creed Origins is the best Assassin's Creed we have gotten since the days of Ezio. From the outfits you collect to the arsenal and upgrades you acquire, the overall balance of the game has made it my personal favorite in a long time. Even the ship battle sequences are better than Assassin's Creed 3, and I, for one, usually hate the ship battle sequences. That's why Assassin's Creed Black Flag was, in my opinion, the turning point for Assassin's Creed not being Assassin's Creed. Because of the overall not caring about the assassins and getting banished from their creed and hideout, and the fact that he's only in it for himself because he's a pirate made me really dislike the game. They tried coming back to their roots with Unity and Syndicate, but overall had to reboot the series, but was well needed. From the combat changes to the overall scope and landscape of the game changing from cities to open deserts at first was off-putting, but because of Bayek and his story, the overall tightness of the game, and side missions being scattered within the area you have to be for certain story missions helps the overall immersion and just gameplay as a whole. For example, with immersion, when I travel the world I see oppressed people in the area I need to be. It's mainly due to the main villains, but each area will have its captains and soldiers that need to be dealt with to free the people. I could just blast through the main story and forget about all that, but the game presents it in a way like I need to help them because of me being a Mage. And what helps too, you don't need to travel halfway across the map for one side mission. If you do the side missions with the main mission, you can basically complete them all mostly. Also, the characters are fleshed out a bit. Not much, but when it comes to the side missions, you care. Take this for instance. There is a woman who just did not want to be alive anymore because of her dead child. Bayek comes up and makes the woman feel better. Not at first, but the quest is to get the materials for a Siwan tradition when someone passes. You do this a few times in the story, but the consistency is nice. It doesn't feel like it's repeated for laziness. But in the end, you save the woman's life and she reconsiders everything. Not only that, but there are side missions that branch from the main missions, which is nice to add a little ending to each of these stories when they were left hanging at some point in the story on what happened to certain characters after freeing their land. But not only that, the main villains feel like their motivations are real, like they are really doing things for the greater good, when Bayek only sees the harm and despair they cause. And I will say, like the other modern Assassin's games, Bayek and friends are not into the assassins much like Ezio and Altair. Like Cassandra with her brother and mother, also Eivor with his brother, it's the same deal with Bayek and with his motivations. He second guesses things when it doesn't get him his answers or his revenge, and it's referenced that he should be doing this out of his free will. Even his wife has already considered the life of an assassin as the only life. Only when she sees Bayek is she turned away a bit from that life, but she even reminds Bayek that life isn't the same anymore since their child's murder.
And then we return home.
We will only return home with Cleopatra in our company to show the Siwans what has changed, what we have changed.
How are things on your trireme?
Great. Phoxidas has entrusted me with...
Why don't we take each other here?
in this reed boat.
Take advantage of these rare moments between us, before your new job steals you away as savior of all Egypt.
You make jokes, but it is not funny. It is greatness I am after. This country is at civil war, one simply cannot deny it. Everywhere is misery.
I love you, Aya. But remember, Cleopatra is a Ptolemy. She's the better of two evils.
We must serve greatness. What greatness do we serve now?
We are parents.
We were parents. I love you, Bayek of Siwa. But what are you of now?
Now, with the gameplay part of things, it's great, but I still like the old Assassin's combat as well. But I do love the Souls-like touch of the combat. The different weapons are nice. From daggers to staffs, it's really a nice range of weapons. And the different bow types are nice. But, in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I say they messed up by getting rid of these bow types and making them powers, which sucked. and in Valhalla, they brought them back, but the weapons were so barren in that game that it was hard to find the different bow types. But the level-based aspect in the game works decently. I plan hard though, which I do for all these modern Assassin's games, because if not, the game feels too easy on any less difficulty. Out of all three, Origins had the best balance though, because it was not only more satisfying to kill enemies in this than Odyssey or Valhalla, because of Odyssey's meat-slap combat where it'd feel like you're trying to cut a corpse, or Valhalla's long, tedious combat with the same few executions and bad dual-wield combat. In my opinion, Origins is the best because it is straight to the point, but also too, the level-based characters aren't a nuisance like the other games, because the story is aligned with the leveled enemies, so you shouldn't be even needing to touch other parts of the map till you're that level. Which is a nice little surprise at times to discover these new areas when you're the level. But also too, you're not hacking away at them. You do see the same animations when you're using the weapons, but it's also on the last guys and is quick and satisfying. Valhalla, on the other hand, feels sluggish, and it just stops the flow of combat when you do stomps or executions. I will say too, this is the only modern Assassin's Creed I didn't buy outfits for. I did for Odyssey and Valhalla, just because I was trying to enjoy the game. More Valhalla than Odyssey. But still, that proves the content is satisfying and just right. Not overwhelming as people said Odyssey was, with its armor and weapons. But I disagree on that. Just cause it was more content. Yeah, you had to dig through your inventory. It felt great though to break down armor to upgrade your better armor. Now lastly, like the old Assassin's games, I feel immersed in the world of Origins. From the music to the people, the world feels alive. Same with Odyssey. But Valhalla has probably the worst immersion. The music is great in it, but the world itself, which doesn't help the setting, it being about conquering new land, it would at least help to have a few big cities instead of mediocre ones. And it helped too that Odyssey always has conflict going on, the Spartan and Athens at war. But in Valhalla, with the raids, once you raided a place, that was it, and you would just complete everything and be bored. But overall, Origins was by far the best and should be what's looked at for the future of Assassin's Creed. I am super excited for Assassin's Creed Mirage because it looks like they are going all into the Assassin's lore, and I don't mind at all it being a huge city to explore. I'm kinda getting sick of these vast, huge worlds that these developers think we need, when I still play the old games and love every second and never complain how small they are. I just hope this is a turning point with Mirage, and we get Assassin's Creed games again.